Here is an angel. This is how it's going to look like at the end of everything. When all true believers are gone, all manner of nightmares and debauchery are going to be unleashed upon the earth. I'm not going to zoom in because it's just too horrible. The sky is going to be blood. People are going to be making out with monsters, and it's just game over for all of them. At the end, there are not going to be any more natural births. Newborn babies are going to be created in a laboratory, in capsules, in capsule devices. Only very few people are going to reproduce the ancient, old-fashioned way. Most of the humans in the end are going to be artificially created in a lab. And this is another indicator. People being created in a lab, publicly. This is how you will know that the end has almost come. Here is a man repenting of his sins and holding Christ, and Jesus is holding him and giving him a hug and listening to him and forgiving him by the looks of it. This is how it's going to be for a lot of people. Also, there are going to be, during the Great Judgment, in the Great White Throne Room, there are going to be people who, for some reason, have never cried their entire life. They have just never cried their entire life. And once they hear they're going to be thrown in the lake of fire, they are going to break down in tears, kicking and screaming, because they just can't believe they're going to be rejected. And the reason they'll be rejected is because they never repented of their sins. This is one of my favorites. This is how life on the new earth will look like. Here is the vision of the final world to come. This is the world of tomorrow. A divine version, not a futuristic version. A divine version of the world of tomorrow. This is the only divine version of the world of tomorrow. Here are the children with the golden crowns and the white robes, along with Christ on the new earth. And here is the landscape. This is the final version of the world. And once this vision is established, history will both come to an end and a new eternal history will begin. It is somewhere during this time, during these times, that there is something I have to do. I can't do it right now because the situation is not right. I have to wait. This is a very interesting one. Jesus is not only my God, he is my friend. Now remember this. Now this is the rapture and the first resurrection. The trumpet, that's the trumpet over there on the right. The trumpet is going to sound, and all dead true believers are going to rise from the grave and from the ocean floor, and the true believers are going to be taken up into heaven like this. They're going to rise to the sky like feathers, like birds. I call this the Great Gathering, or the Great Collecting, or the Great Collection. This moment is soon approaching. I'm not sure how long, but with each day it's getting sooner and sooner and closer and closer. This is an angel. This angel is going to use this chain to chain Satan, the red dragon, and immobilize him for 1,000 years. I don't know if this is Michael or a different angel, I'm not sure. Oh, this is another one of my favorites. This again is life on the new earth. Here are Adam and Eve when they sinned. They were banished from the garden. They were given some clothing. God killed a bunch of animals and gave their fur and skins to Adam and Eve. But God had mercy upon them, and he did not abandon them. This is not mentioned, I've never heard it mentioned before, but once everyone is resurrected, I think Adam and Eve will also be resurrected. They were the first, so it makes sense they will be resurrected as well. I'm sure they repented and were forgiven. And down here, the serpent. I'm sure Adam and Eve will be resurrected on the new earth. They were our first and most distant ancestors. It'll be weird if it'll be very strange if they're not present on the new earth. I think they suffered enough. Oh, one more thing. I was always wondering what color was Eve's hair. I think Adam was a brown. His color was brown. For Eve, I think either browned or dark black or golden. And here is the devil himself. Now there are books in heaven. The devil also has a book. In this book, the devil has the signature and the name and the soul of every person who sold his soul to him. He has the name of all of his victims. The names of every person he made a deal with are written in his book. And here is God the Father creating the earth, laying the foundations. This is omnipotent power. And here is a true believer reunited with Christ, and the Holy Spirit shining its light on both of them. Marking another saved soul. This is a very complex one. Here are angels at the center with swords and a trumpet. On the left we see dead people rising from the dead, men, women and children, and going up to heaven. Here is God himself on the throne surrounded with angels. And down here on the right we have the unbelievers being cast into hell, into the lake of fire. And here is a drawing of Jesus. This is the best drawing of him, I think. Remember this face. This is the face of your salvation.